All right. What's up, Instagram? What's up, Facebook? Little Saturday edition of AMA. What does the AMA stand for? Ask me anything. You can ask anything about anything, and I will be more than happy to respond. So, how would you go about doing that? You can leave a comment if you're watching on any of these socials. So, you can leave a comment on Instagram, and I will answer, or you can leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, and I'll answer. And you can be a customer and or not. It does not matter in either case. Good to go. One thing, a couple of things that I want to talk about first, sort of just broadly speaking, and then we can get into some details about some other things. One, because it's essentially last days of the month, and because we have a huge sale ending, we're actually running a live demo in 20 minutes at the top of the hour. It's a free Zoom session. You can pop right in. It's like test driving the car. You get to see all the bells, all of the whistles, the whole entire ball game. So to do that, if that's something you're interested in and you're on Instagram, you can hit the link tree in the bio, and there's this little live demo button, and that'll throw you right into the Zoom session. Or if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I put the link in the description. It's really a little noisy today because I can hear my gardener and the weed whacker about 6 inches away from where I'm recording this, which is always a good time, Saturdays. But I wanted to talk about the fact that your first few sales are literally weeks away. Okay. And it's a couple of different ways that way. Like, one, I have never seen our customers that are just launching and getting live, getting the types of results that they have been recently. Like, it's just completely staggering. I think the fact that you can launch in the single solitary best art selling month of the year is so fantastic. November, that starts pretty much Monday, right? Because Halloween's tomorrow, 10/31, is the best month all year long to be selling art without question. Okay, without question, it's not even close. So I really like this concept. Okay, Susan, I'm gonna answer your question in a second. Icon Will, how's Shopify for one of one customs? I don't really. What does that mean? One of one customs. You have to elaborate on that. I don't understand. And Susan, every time you send an email, people are just not going to automatically purchase. I mean, I know you're just getting started, but you need to. Susan says people are opening my MailChimp emails but not purchasing. Yeah, I wish every time I sent an email, somebody would just purchase. It would be a whole lot cooler if it worked out that way. Don't stress about that, Susan. Just keep emailing. You never know when folks are going to be ready to buy art, and that's the whole ball game. Because you never know when someone's actually going to be ready to purchase. It all comes down to whether or not you're top of mind when they are, right? Okay, Icon Wall saying I airbrush sweatshirts, tees, and hoodies. So do you fulfill all of those, Icon Will, yourself? Like, you self-fulfill, I'm assuming, because they're all custom one-offs. If that's the case, yeah, I'm not sure what the best platform for you is. You could certainly do it on ours, but I don't know. Is it going to be wall art too, or is it literally just going to be sweatshirt, tees, and hoodies, and that's it? I imagine if it's airbrushing, you could probably add a whole bunch of different items to your operation. So if that is the case, then I would certainly check us out. If not, yeah, go Shopify. All good. But again, this is an AMA, so you can ask anything. All you have to do is leave a comment, and I will be happy to chime in about this, that, or the other. This is it, guys. The #1 month of the year to be selling art, to be selling photography, online and off. Full stop. It's not even close. And we're going to blink. Life is going to go into chaos mode like it always does at the end of the year. And so you really got to start thinking about what you're going to do. If you're a customer, you know what you're going to do. You're going to follow the calendar and follow it to the best of your ability, and you're going to do great. If you're not, then you need to contemplate doing some pre-marketing. As soon as you're done with the pre-marketing, having a sale that coincides with Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If you do just that, you will be better off than 95 out of 100 artists out there, because 95 out of 100 artists are going to let Q4 come and go without doing a damn thing, except maybe phoning in a sale without any pre-marketing, because that's what always happens, right? So Andy's asking for the FAQ page. There is no print partner template. Does it matter? I use graphic dimensions for that one. Yeah, I would just, Andy, just use the FAQ page that we provide by default. That's the one I would use. It doesn't matter who your printer is that's doing it, right? Like you can use either or. That's totally all good. The language we have pretty much covers it. I wouldn't even stress about it another minute. That's what I would say in terms of an FAQ page. But for anyone that's on this, by the way, before I forget, and you're contemplating Art Storefronts, you want to see what it looks like. You want to get a peek behind the curtain. We're having a live demo. It's a Zoom session. It's free. You can do Q&A, and you get to see all the bells and whistles of everything we offer as a software platform. So if that's something that tickles your fancy on a Saturday, either morning or early afternoon, then all you have to do, it starts in 15 minutes, is hit the live demo button on our link tree. It's on Instagram, in our bio, the link tree, and then I pasted it on Facebook too. So if you guys want to go and do that, you certainly can. Yeah, and that's that. And Andy, good timing. Just post that Facebook page and get going on the marketing. The marketing is what moves the needle this quarter. It's really exciting. I'm really just fired up for you guys. I feel like it's going to be a better year than even last year was. And for many, you know, COVID sort of caught you by surprise, and you had no idea that it was going to be such a huge selling time. And many of you hadn't been doing your marketing. But this year around, you know, the majority of the factors on the ground are the same, which is home decor exploded last year. Why? Because everyone was spending way more time at home. And by and large, that has remained the case. By and large, home sales, new home sales are at all-time highs. So these are fertile grounds, okay, looking at this Q4 for artists or photographers to be in the game, have their work ready to sell. And this next month, you have got to grind it out so hard. You've got to work harder on your marketing than you ever have before, because there's no better month to do it. There is no better month to do it. You know, one of the stats I love to cite is what we see traditionally in Q4 is, you know, you have your normal, why does Instagram always derp out? You have your normal, you have your normal sales volume, right? And let's just say the normal sales volume is 1, to keep things really simple. And so if we take all the artists, all the photographers selling art on our site, and let's say the average sales is 1 for the 3 months prior to October, right? So June, July, August, September. That volume doubles in October. October is already in the books. And we're even a little bit more than doubled as a business this year at Art Storefronts. And then November triples. So the sales triple. And then in December, it's a 1.5 multiple. Because as you get closer to Christmas, people, you know, the sales aren't as consistent all month. But the larger point is sales triple in November, guys. Sales triple. It is a big, big deal. Coobs, I'm stoked that you got the stuff for live streaming. I love it. Sometimes you have to buy a little gear to get yourself fired up and motivated. It's so important. All right, good. Yeah, I'm stoked for you, Andy. Just post your site in small wins, get some feedback. I'm sure it's fine. You know, if your art's up there and the thing can take credit card, and you put in a test order to make sure that it can take credit card, boy, that one is so important. Putting in a test order, got to do that. Just put in a test order and then refund yourself and make sure it all goes through. And then game on. 'Tis the season, right? 'Tis the season. I do think too that it'll be even bigger than years previous. I mean, if we continue to see the volume that we're seeing now, it's just absolutely staggering. And boy, the live art shows such tremendous results. If you haven't gotten to the point where you have samples that you can show and talk about and sell, you know, if you're an artist that paints, it's easier, right? Because you have all the originals and you can show those. But if you're a photographer and you haven't ordered samples that are in a small size that you can show like this on video, hold up, talk about they're ready to hang, talk about how you sign them, you're in trouble, because the season is a-coming. But what else, guys? Questions? You can leave a comment on Instagram. Happy to answer any question you have. Leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube. Happy to answer a question that you have. For those that are just joining, we're running a live demo in literally 15 minutes. It's a Zoom session. It's free. You can go in. You get to see all the bells and whistles that we offer as a business. Sorry about the noise. My gardener's out there giving the backyard the one over. What else? Yeah. So Arlene's asking. There's a link, Arlene, I can just put it right here. It's pretty cool. how easy Zoom is. But you can just click this link, Arlene, and then the top button says live demo. And if you click the live demo button, then it'll just throw you right into the Zoom. And that thing starts in literally 13 minutes. You can ask them whatever questions. They'll tell you all the questions about pricing and packages and this and that. But it's just cool to see all the bells and whistles. We have been releasing so many features. It's absolutely crazy. Do you sell with Hitler in the mix? What in the world are you saying, Roberta? I don't understand that. Yeah, so Rex is asking, can you talk about how the limited edition store should work in your website? Like, I'm not sure if you're a customer or not, Rex. If you are, it's pretty easy because you put the open editions on one tab, you put the limited editions on another, and then you put the original on the other. So that's how I would answer that. And more broadly, step one, make sure you have the limited editions because they're such important price points. Yeah, so if you have the original Rex, you put the original in, and then if you have the limited editions, you put the limited editions in, and then if you have open edition prints, you put them all, and we have like little tabs for each of them. But customer support can walk you through that. Got an interesting comment from Shipper here, which is, how do I get into galleries or get contacted to the art galleries? Number one, you don't want to be in galleries because it's an exploitative relationship that is a tenant-farmer relationship. But the dirty little secret of how do you get into galleries, you market actively and you make a bunch of noise and they end up contacting you after you've done so. It's much easier doing it that way than it is attempting to approach them, because right now half the art galleries are out of business, and as a result of that, the art galleries literally have the pick of the litter in terms of who they want to place inside of their galleries. What's more, they're getting more and more aggressive with the revenue splits. But being in art galleries is no way to make a living in this business. It is almost impossible to make anything approaching a decent living when you are selling through art galleries. Art galleries are a tenant-farmer relationship, right? You might, even if you go into galleries and you're selling okay in galleries, you might get a roof over your head and you might get a couple of meals and a couple of bucks in your pocket. But when the relationship's over, all you leave with is your shirt on the back. If you don't know who's buying your work, you can never market to those people in the future, which is the biggest problem with the art gallery, which is why they don't tell you who purchases your work, right? Whether it's the online ones or off. So, Shipper, I don't think you want to get into art galleries. I certainly wouldn't. It's not going to help your business out. Like that, if for 100 artists, let's say 100 artists that are in art galleries, there's like 2 that are making over $100,000 a year, or like 5 maybe out of the 100. Like the odds are so low. It doesn't work. It's just not a sustainable business model for most folks. So that's what I would say. I can understand too, like, some people say, well, for credibility, I need to get in there. And the credibility is such like a chicken and the egg thing, right? Because the art gallery is never going to want to take you on unless you're credible anyway. And the only way to get credible is you do a bunch of your own marketing. So after you do a bunch of your own marketing, you're selling yourself, you know who's buying your work, you're marketing to those folks in perpetuity. You don't need the art gallery. Like the art gallery, it's just, I detest the notion of you guys being creators and not having the ability to build a collector list. A collector list is the single solitary most important thing any art business can have. And a collector list is essentially people that have purchased your work before. And the fact that you can market to those folks in perpetuity forever is the difference between poor and consistent income, right? Like it's honestly, attempting to sell your work and through a gallery, any of them, because whether you talk about Art Basel or Saatchi or Fine Art America or Redbubble or eBay or any of them, well, I guess eBay's a little different, but if you don't know who's purchasing your work, you're never going to build a sustainable year-over-year business. You can't, because repeat business is the bread and butter of an artist, of a photographer. Repeat business and time is the single solitary most important thing that you can have. Straight up, not even close, anything else. For those that are just joining, AMA, you can ask me anything. You guys are doing great with questions today. I'm getting more than I usually do. For those that want to go and see a live demo, it starts in 9 minutes. You can click the link in Instagram, the bio, pop in there, or you can click any of the links on the Facebook chat. What's up, Raging Art from NYC? Not to mention the percentage an artist will take as a commission. Yeah, I mean, I always cite this book, and it's a rad book on Amazon. I totally think you guys should buy it and read it. It's 10 years old, but it's called The $12 Million Stuffed Shark: The Curious Case of the Contemporary Art Market. And what is so crazy about that book is it was 10 years ago, right? So you kind of have to adjust for times. But there's this stat in there, and let me see if I can read it. And the book is really only surveying the people that have gallery representation, right? And let me see if I got, come on, pull up. Oh, good, I've got it. So it's right here. I can read these stats. So check this out, okay? So in this book, and again, it's called The $12 Million Stuffed Shark. You can search for it on Amazon. They say there are 40,000 artists in residence in New York, 40,000 artists in residence in London, 80,000 total, right? And they surveyed this bunch. And out of the 80,000 total, 75.09%, okay, 0.09% are above $1 million a year in sales, okay? And these are all gallery representation, right? 75 out of 80,000 over $1 million a year. Then, and they call that the superstar artist. The next tier down, they call mature, successful, six-figure a year plus artists. And so anyone making more, or selling, I should say, it's not even making, selling more than 100,000, under $1 million. That was 300 out of the 80,000. Okay, 300 out of the 80,000. 0.38%. Then their next tier down were artists and photographers that have representation. Okay. And they have help. So meaning they either have a side job or they have a supportive spouse or whatever the case may be. That was 5,000. So out of the total 80,000 that they surveyed in this book, 6.72% were earning a living. Okay. And you got to understand too, those people that were making 100 grand, that's 100 grand at a 50, or selling 100 grand. That's 100 grand at a 50-50 split. You're only keeping 50 grand. So it's just absolutely ridiculous to contemplate. Right. All right. David's asking me, I'm incredibly eclectic in my work, so my question is, should I set up my website more like a gallery and exploit my variety, or focus on only one medium and not share the bulk of what I've created? Yeah, I love that question. Everybody gets stressed out about that, David, really early on, and the reality is you don't have any damn idea what of your eclectic work is going to be your best stuff and is going to sell the most, because you probably likely have not started actively marketing it. So 100% put all of it up, market for a year, and see what happens. What will inevitably happen is the market will tell you whether or not you should specialize in one aspect of it, or it'll tell you you don't have to. And I've seen every set of circumstances in that capacity, David. I've seen people throw up all their eclectic work, okay, market for a year, and get to the end of the year and realize a little bit of everything ends up selling. A little bit of everything. And part of that is because you, David Friedman, is as much a part of the brand is what the work is, right? They're going to end up following you because of your creative vision, and they like what you're putting out there, and they like some of the comments that you make, and this, that, and the other. So you're a part of the brand as much as anything else. But I've also seen the flip side, meaning there's this thing called Pareto's Law, and it's the 80-20 rule, essentially. And it's like, what it says is oftentimes 80% of your results will come from 20% of the effort, right? And so let's say that you put up all your work on your site, David, and you market for a year, and you find out that 80% of your revenue is coming from 20% of your work, right? Well, at that point in time, the market's sort of telling you, drop all that other stuff and go all in on the 20%. That's what I would say. But you'll never know, and no one can tell you until you get it up on the site and market for a year and see what sells, right? Everyone thinks that they can make those judgment calls without doing the marketing, without getting the feedback in a vacuum. But that's just putting your finger up in the air, right? Or that's throwing a dart blindly at a dartboard. So get it all up, start marketing for a year until you even contemplate making the decision, because otherwise you're not doing it based on any good, reliable data set. So that's what I would say. Yeah, what else? I mentioned the live demo. I mentioned that this is the single solitary biggest art selling time of the year, period, full stop. Nothing like November. Yeah, good. Perfect timing, David. Perfect timing. And wait till you do too. You know, I've been seeing results like I have never seen with first-time customers like you guys that are running our playbook, doing the giveaway, right? Doing that first initial giveaway, and capturing emails and then getting sales as a result of it. I mean, I have seen multiple people in the last 2 weeks go live and get their first, second, third, fourth, fifth sale. A lot of them are starting with 0 emails on their list, and they're popping like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 emails to their list. And that's just the first marketing effort. And after that, you get to parlay it right into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which is huge, which is tremendous. So game on there, and then some. For anyone just joining, it is an AMA. You can ask whatever questions you like. I'd love to answer them. If you want to leave a comment on Instagram, I'll answer those. If you want to leave a comment on Facebook, I can certainly answer those as well. We are having a live demo today that you can join for free. It's a Zoom session where because it's the end of the month, we have our sale is ending. You can jump into a Zoom right now, take a tour of the entire product, see all the bells, see all the whistles, the ins, the outs, and then get a live Q&A in terms of pricing and packages and this, that, and the other. So to do that, there's the link in the bio here, or if you are so inclined on Facebook or YouTube, there's a link there. How you doing, Nitya? Thanks for saying hello on YouTube. It's one of the fun things about streaming to all platforms at once, which, by the way, is what I recommend you do once you get your first couple of live art shows under your bunch. But you know, you've got people watching on YouTube, you've got people watching on Facebook, you've got people watching on Instagram, all at the same time, and it's an amazing feeling, right? It's almost like you're a television station and you have 3 channels running at once. Like, that's pretty profound, isn't it? What an effective marketing technique and tactic, my goodness. And not to mention how effective it is actually moving art and photography. I've never seen anything like it. I have never seen anything like it. So if you've not run a live art show, if you've not seen some of our content on how to run live art shows, and you are not actively participating in those, as terrifying as it is, I'm aware, trust me, of being on video. I hate being on live video. I would never be on live video if I didn't have to be, but it is just so doggone effective. I can't begin to even tell you. So that's what I would say. But all right, I think we'll leave it there. We've got this live demo coming up in 1 minute. My phone keeps giving me poor connection. It's always something with live streaming, I tell you. It's always something. Like, why would you pause? I have like a gigabit Ethernet connection here. There's no way it is poor connection. Instagram lame. But it's going to be November, guys. Come starting Monday, I'm going to be hammering these lives, hammering the broadcast, hammering the teaching, and trying to get more and more and more of you to do some consistent marketing of your work. Such an important thing. But okay, I think we'll leave it there. If you want to go and pop in and see a demo, I recommend you do. It's totally free. It's totally awesome. Complete test drive. That thing is starting in 1 minute. And it's Zoom and it's free. You can log right in. So something you're interested in doing, there's the link in the bio here on Instagram, and there's a link here in the Facebook post. But I think we will leave it there, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope everyone has an incredible Halloween, and I'll